Max is representing Hempitecture today, and it's a really exciting company that's doing something um, that maybe historically was more relevant to the built environment, but kind of fell off due to various restrictions, especially here in the United States over time. But hemp is definitely having a moment coming back into use as a product that can be used even at commercial scale in buildings. So I think without um, further statements from me, it'd be good to have Max start telling us about this company and the products they're making.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Jason. And thank you, everyone else, for being here this afternoon. As mentioned, my name is Max Sagdahl, lead sales rep here with Hempitecture. And I'm going to give you guys, a little presentation here on our business and the products that we offer and a little about why we offer these products. So, as long as everyone's ready to go here, we'll get the presentation started. All right. So again, one huge reason why Hemptecture has started here today is our founder and CEO, Matty Mead. He originally went to school to become an architect and found out that the built environment causes basically 40% of our greenhouse gas emissions, which is pretty huge. You know, almost half of our greenhouse emissions coming from the built environment, being embodied carbon and what have you. So our goal is basically to eliminate the carbon emissions from the built environment and significantly reduce overall emissions to reverse our current climate crisis. We basically need to rethink our building materials here. Oops. Um, and how they're processed and manufactured. And so the main portion of our products is going to be industrial hemp, which, as Jason mentioned, was just reintroduced in 2018 thanks to the Farm Bill, which allows all 50 states to grow industrial hemp under the threshold of 0.3% THC. So it is not exactly a cannabis related product. It's kind of a cousin, a sober cousin, as we say. So it's not directly affiliated with any cannabis or any cannabis growing like that. It is essentially just a um, weed that grows out in the fields there. And again, so we have a one of a kind, first of the kind here in the United States manufacturing facility located here in Jerome, Idaho. A little over an hour and a half outside of the Boise area, if you guys are familiar. And yes, all of our manufacturing is done here by our team, and we get the hemp actually from a few different suppliers. We have a small one here in the Idaho region, Idaho Hemp Processing, and then we also have a larger supplier in Fort Benton, Montana, that they contract out local farmers in order to grow the hemp, and then they're able to process it into the fibers that we use for our manufacturing process here in Idaho. And a question that we get asked a lot is, why hemp fiber? And it's something that is highly carbon sequestering during the growing process. That's a huge thing, and we can get multiple essentially growing seasons per year. In certain regions you can get up to three different crops of industrial hemp per year, whereas traditional lumber may take up to 25 years to mature. Or alternatively, we're not melting rock or glass into fibers as well. And I'm not sure if everyone received our Hempel life cycle analysis, but I'm happy to share that with you guys here after the presentation. Um, Basically, getting to show you how and why our products are carbon negative. But first, we'll go into a few of the products here in our product line, all installation based, but we'll get through these in more depth here moving forward. And yeah, here's a couple of examples of a wall assembly, kind of a roof ceiling assembly of where we see our materials fitting into these assemblies, and just a excuse me, a visual example here as well. So the first product we're going to go over here today is our flagship product called Hempel. It is a cavity bat insulation that we view as a one-to-one replacement for conventional, bat insulations out on the market. It's composed of 90% industrial hemp fiber. The other 10% is a polyester fiber, which acts as a binder to hold those hemp fibers into the bat shape you see there. There are no added chemicals or VOCs. It's red list ingredient free, so it is very safe, um, user safe, and no off gassing as well to handle. We offer a couple of different SKUs regarding depth of the material or R value to fit, your different framing cavities. For example, a 3.5 inch, which is equivalent to an R13 value, then a 5.5 and a 7.5 inch here as well. And right now, the product is more tailored towards residential applications primarily. And that is because the product is currently a Class C ASTM E84 rating, which means it does not have any added fire retardants to it. However, we are in the process of commissioning some brand new equipment at our manufacturing line, and we're running trials right now in order to pre-treat the fibers before they go into our manufacturing line with a borate-based fire retardant. And we've had some preliminary testing so far to show that we do anticipate a full Class A rating. We're just in the process of, again, getting these equipment up and running and making sure all of our trials go according to plan here. And then the next product that we offer is a continuous rigid insulation called Plant Panel. And again, we see it as a, essentially a one-to-one replacement for your current exterior insulations, such as, an EPS or maybe a rock wool, mineral wool type product as well. It's currently a little bit higher in the polyester binder because it's a higher density material. So it's composed of 70% hemp fiber and 30% of the polyester fiber. And currently we offer two different depths, as you can see here, a 3/4 inch and a 2 inch. And again, this product is not currently treated with any fire treat or fire retardants. But again, once we get our new equipment up and running, this will be a fully fire rated product, hopefully early next year. And one cool thing actually as well about this product is we do get asked a lot of times, do we have a drywall replacement? Plant panel is not exactly a direct drywall replacement. However, it has been used as a substrate for maybe a lime-based plaster for some interior finishing as well. All right, and here's another product which is called FiberPad. Essentially, just a carpet underlayment replacement, similar to the foam padding that you'd see underneath your standard carpeting these days. A little bit lower, or excuse me, a little bit higher in the hemp percentage here, 80 and 20. And right now, I do have to update that, but it basically comes in one thickness. It's about a 1/2 inch thick. And again, this will also be treated to be fully fire rated moving forward as well. And it does have the same about 7 pound density testing as commercial grade pads as well. Excuse me. And here's a quick little video, mainly more tailored to installers, but brief video here on how our products are installed in a standard wall assembly. Let's see if we can get. Do you guys hear any sound here by chance? No.
No, no, I don't like the sound.
No worries. We can just skip that slide for now. But that was basically our founder and CEO, Maddie Me, just giving a brief demonstration on the installation process and how Hempel is a friction fit cavity insulation. So essentially, you don't need any adhesives, staples, nails in order to install the material. It's just going to friction fit in between the framing cavity there. And one thing I did like to point out is you don't see too many installers in just a pair of shorts, t-shirts, no gloves. But it's just more of a testament to how safe and friendly our products are to handle and install. And here's a little bit of a product comparison. Again, being comfort board, a couple of different Rockwool and fiberglass here. regarding our plant panel, the rigid continuous insulation on the left, and then our hemp wool cavity bat insulation on the right. As far as performance, some cost, and then the embodied carbon on the products here as well. And again, this is something I will share in our documents after our presentation. But as you can see, we are definitely more of a carbon friendly material than what's out on the market currently. Oops. And here's another little comparison. This one is more tailored towards some other alternative insulations, such as maybe a wood fiber or a denim or a cellulose product. Again, you can see ours is going to be more rapidly renewable, more scalable as far as getting additional hemp or growers, farmers as well. Um, and again, some performance, excuse me, attributes here as well. And again, this will be on our life cycle analysis, but here's kind of the numbers and the breakdown of how our product is a carbon negative material. Going from the growing and cultivation all the way through our manufacturing, packaging, and transportation. And again, this will be on our life cycle analysis that I'm happy to share. And again, this is for mainly for installers, but again, a good thing to note when explaining to maybe homeowners or new contractors, subcontractors, what have you. But again, we get pictures like on the right all the time of families with their kids, pets, making forts, caves, helping install. Just a huge testament to how we feel our products are safe, friendly, and not near to don't need a full Tyvek suit to wear to install the material. Oops. All right. Well, that might be it, guys. I thought I had another slide or two there, but that kind of wraps up our presentation here. And again, one thing I did want to note is I will send over our data sheets, again, our life cycle analysis. But one exciting thing to note, again, as we progress with our new material, with the fire retardant and basically fungi, mold and mildew retarder, we are going to complete a whole new set of testing as far as ASTM, acoustic testing, ICCES, and hopefully some EPD, HPD documents as well. So that's something I'd be happy to keep you guys updated as we progress here in the next few months.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you, Max. I don't know if anyone that's on in the group today has any questions. If you want to submit them in the chat, that's fine too, and we can kind of field them from there. Or if you just want to jump in and ask the question out loud, that's fine as well. I had one question. Well, it's more of a question slash maybe statement, but um, I find that this discussion around polyester and poly-based components and the way those might embed in a more natural product that comes up with other things. I mean, there's especially in maybe furniture and product design, you see more of the use of recycled poly materials being incorporated into products, and I think some people struggle with that, and I think myself included because of the the kind of expanding fear of those products. But I think we also have a responsibility to also deal with all of the crap we've produced in the world that all of these plastic products. I should say that in our presentation. But I think you all kind of follow where I'm going with this. But to think of ways to embed that into something that is theoretically long lasting or that can contribute to that. I mean, I think it's worth exploring, and we still have we as a species and as a global group of living things, we have to figure out what to do with all of this plastic material that we've generated. And I just wondered, Max, if you all have a statement on that, or a kind of a reason for, or if that's part of the reason why you all incorporated that into as the binder in some of the products.
Yeah, that's a good question, Jason. And it is one of those things that we have thought about and looked into alternatives. Being like you mentioned, a kind of a plastic based. binder.
Mhm.
And there are a few options that are, a little bit more bio-friendly overall that we've looked into. Um, kind of main thing is acquiring those materials at a
Mhm.
decent price point for us being a startup has been a little bit more on the difficult side. But again, it is something that we've looked into and do anticipate incorporating more of a bio-friendly binder moving forward. Again, I'm just not sure how far we're on along that road.
But even taking, yeah, doing what you're doing now, I mean, I think there's definitely a good argument to be made for, that is still kind of a climate positive approach overall, even in dealing with some of this bulk of plastics that are piling up. So, I think, yeah, it's an interesting discussion, right? It's kind of one of those
Mhm.
wicked problems, we call it sometimes. We have a question in the chat from Lisa. Let's see. The question is, do you have a product that would work in attics or replacing blown in for wall cavities that would replace cellulose or blown in
Yes, great
cellulose?
question, and that's why I thought I had another slide or two on my presentation. But we did recently start offering a wood fiber based blow-in product called Fiberfill. And essentially, again, that'll be a one-to-one replacement for your common cellulose blow-in materials. And yes, that can be applied into your wall cavities, attic ceiling cavities. Um, and again, yeah, I'll follow up with all of our technical data sheets and documentations for this material as well. And also, you could use our hemp wool back cavity in the attic as well.
On the if you've got any other questions yet, feel free to jump in and cut me off. Anyone that's on here, if you have a question too. But I was also kind of thinking about the kind of the regional production approach that you all have. I mean, and maybe also that relative to the cost per square foot. It looked like your price point is very good compared to the other companies that produce similar performing products. But
Yeah, and still more on more of a premium as far as maybe compared to a fiberglass material, but
mhm,
hopefully over time we'll be able to kind of get a little bit closer to that overall. But yeah, that is definitely something that we also think about is the regional aspect of where we're getting our fibers and raw materials. um, and moving forward, again, we're hoping to be in New York here in a few years, and then depending
mhm,
on some um, funding from the DOE, a potential manufacturing facility in the Tennessee area as well. So definitely have plans
mhm,
for some growth, and then within that, exactly contracting out farmers in that region to
mhm.
again keep our overall carbon as low as we can.
And then eventually over here to like Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma.
Exactly.
um,
And it's something right now, again, we do have just the one manufacturing facility. We do have a few distribution warehouses throughout the US. In order to help get materials to customers, we do ship or we do sell directly to customer. Again, whether that be homeowner, contractor, architect, what have you. But yeah, we're basically able to deliver directly to the project site. Typical lead time is about 1 to 2 weeks, depending on order size. So we do have a pretty good turnaround time regarding receiving materials.
anyone else have any questions?
Well, I'm curious, what are the savings, if there are any, for someone who were installing fiberglass, let's say? They have all of the gear that they need to protect their employees, as well as the additional, I would assume, insurance, and risk with the material for both their employees and their clients, their homeowners. So I'm wondering, like, if anybody's kind of tracking that cost, because I do think being able to handle it yourself is just amazing. I mean, also
Mhm,
things burn, we have other problems, which in Los Angeles obviously is at the forefront. But it'd be great to know, like, if you guys were tracking that as a comparison, as a selling point to make it easier to, we need help selling the safer stuff, even though it should be self-explanatory.
Right. No, that is a great point, Susie, and something that I don't believe we kind of take metrics of or have looked into. But yeah, definitely something I'm interested in looking at moving forward here. And it looks like Larry had a question here.
Mm-hmm.
Distribution centers. Right now, we're kind of in a little bit of a restructure, kind of get some new warehouses, hopefully by the end of this year or early next year. But currently, we have one in the Seattle area, Northern California. We're hoping to find something in the Southern California area or Vegas area here by the end of the year. Um, Also looking at a Denver warehouse, hopefully by the end of the year. And then currently we have Tennessee, the Nashville area, North Lima, Ohio, and we're also looking into potentially a Chicago area or New York State as well. So just trying to kind of cover, the outskirts of the U.S. here and be able to have customers, easiest access to our materials as possible.
Anyone else?
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is how, when we're explaining, we can, from a passive house network or passive house in general point of view, insulation makes sense. People understand, but they may not understand why you would opt for something that's not the least expensive, right? So it's always good to
Sure.
have those talking points available and really clear for not just developers who have one thing on mind, possibly, but also for the homeowners who may have a different, possibly different idea of what's important. So, having that information, I think, is really going to make or break our ability to get these natural materials more commonplace. Not to mention getting them in places like Home Depot or whatever it is, like,
Exactly. Yeah.
so how can we help you?
Go back to the comparison slide. I think the one that showing the carbon sequestration rates or carbon footprint information, maybe. Yeah, I think it was that one. I
Embodied
mean, this
carbon.
also is it's such a big deal, right? I mean, especially as this kind of, aiming for carbon sequestering or carbon negative buildings as part of a kind of broader sustainable building movement, and especially in passive house. I mean, this could also really, be a big selling
And
point as
one
well.
thing I also, note is, the construction building industry is, overall a little slow to adapt and slow to change. So,
Mhm.
even having advocates just like you guys trying to maybe spec the material, sometimes the contractor is unfamiliar, um, and maybe pass up on it for a product that they are familiar with. So, I think continuing education is going to be a huge in moving the products forward.
Mhm.
So I guess to that effect, do you support homeowners on like DIY doing it, or you're like intending to have contractors install these products?
Yeah, so we have, a lot of our customers are DIY homeowners that are capable of installing themselves. And at the same time, we do have maybe a homeowner that goes through their contractor that says, hey, I want Hempitecture's hemp wool. And they'll kind of arrange the order there that because they know square footages, kind of skews, depths of material, what have you. um, but it is something that we're trying to get into more architecture firms minds and just have it be an option as far as being spec'd into new projects and continuing to grow the product and the education.
With that in mind, from the homeowner perspective, the ease of use and perhaps the air quality aspect of it seems very beneficial. I mean, I think if a homeowner is using it, for example, they may have to cut it to size. Um, I don't know if you're advising them to wear masks or what they have to use to do it, but it seems like it might be a lot easier and safer to use than other types of insulation. Um, is that is that true? Is that a benefit that you're seeing? Is there data on that to kind of support the benefits, the health benefits for the homeowner?
Yeah, it's definitely a big talking point for us, Aaron. I don't know that we have any exact data to show that. But again, kind of example from a couple of those photos I shared earlier. And then again, I can send over our installation video. But yeah, essentially, we recommend just basic PPE for DIY or contractors. Pair of gloves, safety glasses, maybe a mask if you're interested. But yeah, overall, it's a very, very safe material to handle, to install. Again, you mentioned there isn't any off gassing once the material's already inside the walls. So yeah, that is definitely a huge talking point for us.
That's great. And I think that could even translate into, even to the contractor level, certainly into, an ease of training, even
Hmm.
making installation, quicker,
Mhm.
maybe in reducing a small amount of cost there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Hey,
No,
Also,
yeah, good presentation. It's, I mean, a very, very intriguing product. I'm glad that it's on the market, and it brings up this whole host of this kind of alternative products that are out there. I mean, we're here talking about passive house, where we're focused on reducing energy, and there's lots of insulation that does that. But obviously, we on this call are introducing a lot of, we care about a lot of other things. This is reducing carbon in a lot of other ways. It's improving air quality. It's doing all these kind of other things that we think about. So it's kind of it's intriguing in lots of other ways.
Mhm.
I'm curious what other people on the call who maybe don't have questions, but like what are your thoughts on this? Does the I mean, does the carbon storage aspects of this appeal to you? What are these things you've thought about in your projects? Are these new things to you? Where
Yeah.
are
Has
you
anybody
coming
heard of
from?
us in the
Yeah.
past? Yeah.
Mhm.
um, have you worked with carbon storage materials before? It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
hey, I did have a quick question. I'm sorry, and I didn't see where I could raise my hand. You did say it was
Jump
red
in.
list free. Was that correct? You do have a
Correct.
red list okay. Have you gotten any of the other like green guard, green screen, building green, any other certifications, or trying to get that?
Yeah, like
Because those are
LEED or
obviously a
declare
big help.
labels.
Mhm.
Yeah, Larry, that's definitely on our radar. Something we don't have immediately, but once we kind of finalize our new materials here, with the fire rated um, fibers, we do plan
Mhm.
on kind of expanding into all this sort of documentation.
Okay, fantastic. Because that is a big help for someone that is looking to try to build as safe as possible, and they're concerned about any additional additives or other products, like was mentioned
Mhm.
with polymers before. And that's not, but for someone that is looking for, using this from the health standpoint for a very healthy home, which is also what Passive House tries to do a little bit. That's very
Mhm.
helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If everyone's even familiar with the red list, I mean, it comes up maybe more so in certain circles and possibly definitely this one, but it's managed by the Living Future Institute, and it's in their declare. I don't know if you call it a program or it's their database basically of products, furniture, materials, etc. Um, and it is a pretty stringent or strict standard to meet that, I think. Um, I don't know if Max, you have anything to add beyond what I've said, but I just kind of wanted to, for those of you that may not be familiar with it, that's another entity. I mean, there's all these different groups, right? I mean, there's the Living Building Program, which I think Living Future Institute is administering. There's Passive House. There's of course LEAD, and we're all kind of in the same community with, I think, similar intentions. And yet, yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot of it positive, but not always on exactly the same track. I think that the more we can all kind of get in line and do all of the right things on each project, the better off we'll be in the long run as well.
Yeah, I
But it's
agree.
also a great resource, the declare labels and their whole database.
And this is something that came up a lot in Greenbuild is, how do we work within the systems that are really, you know, promoting particular materials right now. Like, how can we assist in getting these greener options out there as designers and builders so that it can become, something that's available in a big box store, or, asked about without like you said, where I understood it, like, yeah, we'd love to have other binders potentially down the road when, but you need to have more sales, right? So we, in general, I can't speak for everyone, but I think we want to help all kinds of groups, not just yours, but that are trying to go with a greener material that can be grown locally, whatever it is. And so we're always trying to figure out how we can get you into these big back stores, or, into normal, lay person
Mhm.
conversation. So help
Sure.
us help you, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is there anything that we can do you think?
Again, I think just being an advocate, like you mentioned, bringing it up in conversation, sharing with your guys' network. Again, I'm happy to send over some documents directly to Susie. I don't know if you want to share those with the rest of the crew here after that as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you guys have maybe a central office or central office or two. I'd also be happy to send over a little sample kit of our materials so you guys get
Mhm.
hands on and see them in person as well. So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
not sure if there's an option for that at all.
Is it okay for folks to email you if they'd like a kit? I mean, there's a small crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm. Trying to build our own kind of sustainable material library back up here at I teach at Drury University. That's kind of the space I'm in and behind. And to be able to share this with students also that are about to enter into, at least in this case, the architectural profession. I think
Yeah,
they're getting so much just in their kind of base education, and trying to weave in these kind of alternative ways of thinking about materiality and showing that there are real things out there in the world that they can specify down the road too. I think it's really important. So yeah, I'll be definitely reaching out for something like that.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lisa?
Oh yeah, so I guess as a homeowner, another option I was looking at was Cloud9, like wood fiber insulation. And I think maybe you could try comparing those. They both seem like it's something I would be okay touching, and smell and all of those senses, right? But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
houses.
very, very comparable products, Lisa. Essentially, main difference being, one ours is being hemp fiber based as opposed to theirs being a wood fiber based. Still more on the sustainable side regarding maybe a rock wool or a fiberglass material. And again, just not as quite as rapidly renewable as it takes years for trees to mature, and they're kind of using some, mill byproduct essentially as well. So it's not quite as scalable or as rapidly renewable, but definitely a product
Mhm.
that we're happy supporting, and definitely more of an eco-friendly product. Again, compared to those other ones.
Mhm.
And the polyester, is it just like old clothes that you're grinding up, or?
Not quite. It's kind of a specialty binder or polyester fiber that melts its outer layer and holds its inner layer. That way, it basically kind of melts into the hemp fibers, and then it cuts on our manufacturing line into those bat shapes.
Mhm.
Cool. There was a conference last week, so my husband works for an architecture firm, and it was Acadia conference, and I guess there are a lot of people working on these like new products that can be used in buildings that are carbon negative.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
our founder CEO is also at Green Build this last week. If anyone was over there,
Mhm.
we had a booth with a company, Hempwood, who does some hemp hardwood flooring. If you guys are interested in
Mhm.
checking them out as well.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
And we're still awaiting AIA approval for this, but you can submit the form, and if
Mhm.
and when we do get that, we can submit your name as well. But definitely for PHI credit, that form will basically put your name in the hat for both. So if you haven't seen that link, please use it if you're looking for credit.
Mhm. Well, anyone else? Last call. We've got a few more minutes if anyone else has questions.
And we will be,
Yeah. And
oh, sorry.
oh no, I was just
Okay.
gonna mention, yeah, or if anything comes up after the conversation here, you guys, yeah, my email is just max@hempitecture.com. And yeah, please feel free to reach out.
And we'll be back here in December on the 9th, on a Tuesday, not a Monday. And there were a number of people who are in the Midwest but did not sign up for the newsletter that probably don't know that we're meeting right now. So if you have any colleagues that are interested in joining, please let them know that we're here every month. We're going to have different topics, possibly different speakers, maybe some credit. So it would be great to have your friends come join us too. And let us know if there's anything that you specifically would like to hear about. And if you know of something that's happening locally, so that we can get on the horn and let others know too.
You all, Aaron, John, I don't know if you have anything to add in conclusion, but thank you all for coming today. And yes, we'll and be on the lookout for info blasts, emails, etc., and also LinkedIn. If you all are on there, please feel free to reach out and connect with us as well. That tends to be a good place to kind of go and seek out registration links, information, and also to see what's happening in all the other chapters. I mean, it's getting to be a pretty what would you call this, Susie? Like a pretty large group and a pretty active network across the U.S. and beyond. So there's a lot of opportunity for learning and seeing what's going on in other parts of at least this part of the world as well.
Yeah, it's very collaborative. Everyone is as enthusiastic as I am, I feel. So even at Greenbuild, running into people from all over, it's just everyone is excited about what we can do. And it seems to me that there's just a real interest in supporting each other. So don't be afraid to ask for help or offer help, you know. So that's that's my shindig. I see Max's LinkedIn. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Susie,
All
I
right.
have a note on my calendar that we have a meeting tomorrow too. Is that
Right. That so I will tell. So the person that was supposed to change it to just today, she may have not canceled that, or it may not have updated your calendar. I don't know which, but that's good to know. Yeah.
cool? I will take
Just
that
did it
off.
because of the holiday. So we do meet on Tuesdays. It's the first one. Can't recall, second Tuesday of every month.
Hmm.
Because of Veterans Day, we moved it forward one day.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad I asked.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. We will see you
You
guys
all.
next month.
Yeah,
Have a
and
good
again,
day.
thank you everyone for being here. I'll follow up with Susie on some additional resources on our data sheets and everything. And again, don't be afraid to reach out, you guys. I really appreciate your time today.